Welcome back to Creative Perspectives. I'm Brandy, a transitional life coach, and today's topic is going to be about surface dwellers as it pertains to relationships and how sometimes we have to get rid of surface dwellers out of our lives in order to hit the real meaningful points in our lives with real people with substance, who have substance that can help us get where we need to go in our lives while we are blessing others. Okay, because we don't want to be selfish and just be caught up in us. We want to also be caught up in others, but we want the right type of bonds and relationships to where they're enriched beyond measure, which is very hard to find in today's culture because we are, you see a lot more shallow people where it's more about the look of things and the surface of things, and suicide rates are going up every year only because people are not diving deep anymore. You know, I think technology has a little bit of blame, but I think we also can make our choices to put technology away and try to connect with one another. So my very first point is, when you're dealing with a surface dweller, they're the type of people that run around, they think they know you, and they swear by it to others. Okay, but they have no clue about your life because they've never tried to dive deep into your life at all, because most of the interactions you've had is mostly about them. Okay, and anytime they have a crisis or anything going in their life, they want you to put all of your energy and you're deep diving into their issues, but when it comes to you, they won't do it. So what that does to you is it makes you feel voided out, or not heard, not equally balanced in that relationship or that situation. Okay, so we want to pretty much stop entertaining surface dwellers. Okay, now if you choose to, there's a time and a place for them. So say if you're going to throw a party, okay, invite them over because you know they can at least have fun. But when it comes to the matters of your heart, your mind, your mental space, your spiritual space, they may not be the best fit for you in those moments. So as long as you know where to place a surface dweller, you're good. If you don't, then you're self-sabotaging, and there's different things that can happen to you. It could take a hit. You could take a hit to your self-esteem because you're not getting the fulfillment out of that person that you really need. Okay, now we are in life, I'm a big believer that we are our own heroes and our own stories until the day we die, but we also have to interact with others. So the only way to be able to do that effectively is start uncovering like who belongs and who doesn't belong, and then who you can deal with on a minimal scale, you know, versus who you want to embrace on a regular basis. And trust me, finding real friends, real people that have your best interests at heart with no private agendas is very, very difficult to find in life, period. Sometimes you can have a group of friends, y'all could grow up, and then if you start outshining, then the dynamics of the relationship changes, not because that you've changed, it's because of now they view you differently, and they may not be able to embrace your new forward movement. Okay, so my very first point, and I do have notes, sorry, I don't have a teleprompter, so this is the way I have to do it, honey, old school style. So pretty much my very first point is they don't have a clue about who you are, okay? But because of their title in your life, like it could be a family member, a friend, an associate, acquaintance, somebody you work with for years, then because people think you guys may have a closer relationship than what you really do, then, you know, if that person interacts with someone else and your name comes up, they can misrepresent you by a lot. And it's only because they're a surface dweller. They don't know the inner workings of who you are, what you've gone through, what you've been through, okay? They only see the surface part of you. So they have no real association with your character, with your moral standing, with your belief structures at all. It's literally a surface dweller, but sometimes they could throw out opinions that are not reflective of who you are. Okay. An example is, say if you are a millionaire, okay, most people are going to want to be a surface dweller in your life because they love your lifestyle. So if you throw a party, they're showing up, okay? Whether they're just coming for the food or just to be able to hang out with you or to say they know you or they went to your house. That's a surface dweller, okay? Because they have no real intentions to get to know who you are. They don't even care about who you are. It's mostly about, I get to look a certain way. I get to look shallow, like a surface dweller in this moment. And I could take, snap some photos and, that's just their extent in your life. There's no substance with that person, okay? But my advice on that is get rid of them or know where they belong. So if you just want them to show up for parties because they could laugh, they could dance, they could have some fun and bring laughter to the place, but they really don't know you and they don't have any substance to offer to you, then that's their place. And that now anytime you have a party, that person they could come over. But when it comes to my personal life, I don't want that person near my, that kind of depth in my life, my personal depth as a person, okay? So, another thing about surface dwellers, especially if they have hidden agendas like envy, jealousy, we all know a certain level of insecurities that people could bring into your life depending on how they view you. It has nothing to do with how you view yourself, as it's everything about how they view you, okay? It's the way they view you, okay? Which is not your responsibility. It's just their responsibility, and you can't change how somebody chooses to feel. But one thing I noticed about surface dwellers is they cannot, especially if they are envious of you or jealous of you, they can't wait to have any form of misunderstanding or to misrepresent or misinterpret something you said or done in order to create some type of turmoil or have something to talk about that's negative. So if they see that you're a positive person, they may want to, that envy, that jealousy, I want to show them they're not all that. So they might start saying little things about you based off of their interpretation or their purposeful misrepresentation about your life or what you do in general, okay? And it's just nothing more than there's no more than envy or jealousy, okay? Or they just want to knock you down a peg or two, okay? So we don't want that type of toxicity surrounding our environment. So that's why I said if they're a surface dweller, just know where to keep them. Keep them out of your business, your real business, because that's where they belong. Because if you allow a surface dweller into your life, trust me, they're not there to get the deeper meaning of your life. They're just there just for any information they can gather. Think of them as a reporter, okay? Hey, they got the mic in your face. Tell me about today. What happened? And then, but that's it. After the story's over, there's nothing else happening with that individual, okay? And they hold no real substance in your life because that was not their position, okay? So if we want to move forward on our journeys in life, you must know where to place a surface dweller, okay? And sometimes, you get the gossip queens, and kings, and they could be your surface dweller, okay? And some people come in with hidden motives on their surface dwelling. Some people, like I said before, at a party, they're just there to have fun, harmless fun. So, okay, whenever I have, okay, they don't steal, but, I can't really connect with this person, but they are cool to be around, but that's the extent of my relationship with that individual. Okay, we want to move those boundaries. We want to move those obstacles, and we want to make sure we're not being distracted, so we can uncover our purpose here on this earth before we go. Okay. A surface dweller is also curious, just only solely for the purpose of criticizing you. Okay, taking jabs at you in any way, shape, or form. That's the surface dweller. Okay, they only see the shallow meaning of life. Okay, they don't dive deep into anything. So they always have an opinion about your life, but they don't have any contributions that they've actually made in your life. So that's why whenever you're dealing with a surface dweller, you want to make sure you keep your business private. If they ask you, how's your day doing? The way I handle a surface dweller, oh, it's going great. You know, are you seeing someone? You know, it doesn't matter what the situation is. It's just, you know, I'm single. You know, you could be seeing people, but I'm single. Okay, because you don't want a surface dweller in your space, because if they are not showing substance from the beginning, that shows you that they have a genuine interest and they have your best interests at heart. You don't want to entertain that under any circumstances. Okay, you want to entertain people who love you and who will value you. You don't want to entertain people who they come and go. They're hot and cold with you. And that's another way to know if they're a surface dweller, is they're hot and cold. You know, they come in, hey, let me see your business, and then you don't hear from them for 5 to 6 months, a year, because they're not there for you. It's just sometimes a surface dweller could come in, just like the narcissist. They're insecure, and all they want to do is just, bam, my life sucks, or I think it sucks. Their life may not really suck. Just most people, they don't appreciate what they have. They don't have any form of gratitude about where they are in their life, because they're focused on all the negatives in their lives. But I lost my train of thought. Sorry. God bless my brain. Let me look at my notes, see if I can get back on track. Yes, so they come and go. They're hot and cold, and they have no real reason why they're coming into your life, and that's why they're hot and cold. It's like, hey, I just want to know what you're doing right now. I want to see if your life is good like mine. It's like an insecurity issue that they have, or they just need to be validated all the time. Okay, and surface dweller like that, which they tend to be narcissistic. There's different types of narcissistic, you know, definitions, you know, but they have a tendency to, if they feel like they're not doing so well in their own life, they just want to call around and see who else's life is messed up. Is yours messed up just like mine? Okay, if it's messed up just like mine, I'm so thankful. You know, but they're not there, because you're like, hold up, where were you when I was going through what I was going through? Okay, and they're never there for anybody else, you know. So a surface dweller is really, I call them nasty individuals. Unless you get the surface dwellers who they just want to have fun, and they'll go anywhere to have fun just to keep life light. Those are the bombshells of surface dwellers. But if you get a surface dweller where they're just trying to overreach and overstep due to envy, jealousy, a false sense of entitlement to your successes or your hard-earned lifestyle, then those are the ones you got to be careful dealing with. Okay, there was a story in Mexico about a girl. She was successful, very pretty, and she ended up getting murdered by one of her friends. Okay, and I believe that's a more recent story. It's still being uncovered at this time, but those are extreme cases where, you know, they were not really into you. They've just been valuing your life, and that's why if you are successful, you must balance that out, you know, balance out the equation, so you can have people in your life that kind of mirror and match yours, and still continue to be a blessing to others who may not have that, but you got to err on the side of caution. And just understand, and I used to be like this, where I'm just hyper, and you can tell I'm hyper fun. I have that kid mentality, but I handle my business, okay? So, and I've had a lot going on in my, I've had a lot through the years that happened in my life, so I'm speaking from experience, in a lot of ways. I've had racism, color issues where I'm light-skinned, and you got people who they have their own interpretation of what your life might look like, because of the way they view it. Okay, so my advice to that part is just, you're not responsible for how other people choose to see you. Some people have called me stuck up, because I do walk back with my shoulders, because I was taught, when you speak, you look people in the eye, you look down to no one, okay? And so, maybe it's the posturing, but that's how I'm going to continue to walk. Does it matter what people think about me around? No, it's more about, you gotta allow people to have their own interpretations about your life, why you live your life, okay? Unencumbered by their vision, okay? You need to have your own vision, you need to reach your own goals, and then you need that support team that's going to be there for you. So surface dwellers are pretty much not the right flow, for real life issues that you might be going through, or real traumatic events that you might be going through. They may be good just for a good time, and that's it, okay? And you don't want to cross over a person with substance with somebody who doesn't have any substance, okay? Who's still in that immature phase where it's like they're still looking at the surface, like, how do I look? Am I fat? Am I this? Am I that? Oh, my house ain't big enough. That's, who cares? In this day and age, do you have food on your table? Are you able to hydrate? If you have children, are you able to provide? Are you looking for ways to provide? That's the real meaning of life, family. Do you love your family? Do you value them? Not everybody has a lovable family, so some people don't associate, because that is what they felt was best in order to move their life forward, and that's okay too. We all know we could put labels on people, family, but your family, you can have somebody in your family who hates you, who's very jealous, very envious, and that's not your responsibility. You have to get people who will love up on you, value you, support you. You get what I'm saying? And also be there for you and make you feel inclusive. Okay? Because some people, if they think you think you're all that, then they want the punishment. So, when they call, I'm not gonna, and then they put up all these ways of letting you know that, hey, I'm just not into you. But if they got a problem, they'll be the first one to call you. Who can I call that can help me out of this crisis? And then all of a sudden you're getting a phone call, and then that's when you could be like, sorry, or choose to help or not help, But our main thing is, we just don't want surface dwellers occupying our spaces, because what does that really do for you? And that's a question you're going to have to face for yourself, is what can a surface dweller really do for you? Okay. Now, some people, they might get someone who they find pretty or handsome, but sometimes when you start engaging with that and you decide to get into a relationship with that, later on you start feeling lonely, because that person can't provide the substance that you require or that you might need in your own life. And they can't, we're supposed to fill up our own voids, but we need a partner that could come with us like a puzzle, puzzle piece. And if you have somebody that's very shallow, they can't really dive deep when there's a real issue going on, or they may not want to look at it or see it. So these are some things you might want to evaluate when you first meet people in the first place. Is there a person I could speak to? Can I talk to them? Are they real? Are they always mistreating others or making fun of others, poking fun of others based off of surface issues? Okay, like, look at that shirt. Who cares about the shirt? They have a shirt on. You have a shirt on. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are little tiny minor just really things that I'm surprised we would be worried about in today's inflation. You're worried about somebody else's shirt. If you are a giver, how about you go get them a shirt and then, buy them something nice. You get what I'm saying? Or do something of value for them instead of making fun of them or poking fun of them. So if you find yourself feeling lonely, that's number one. Try to talk to your partner. If you can't, then these are things that are fixable. And you control your own life and never do anything just to look a certain way, because that could do more damage and do more harm than good. I remember I found, some details out I didn't like, and I just got up and bounced out. I'm one of those where if I don't deal with it, I have almost like a zero tolerance policy for just things that are just not, they're too they're not at the same level. You get what I'm saying? So when you're on your life path, you want to make sure you're embracing things that are definitely going to help you in your life path. You don't want to embrace gossip or just small petty things, because it's not going to get you anywhere. And really, what does that do? I could be reading a book, at the bare minimum. I could be reading a book right now instead of listening to this, So find what works for you. God bless you. God smile on you. And thank you so much, very much so, for your subscriptions, your likes. I never really get comments. Hopefully one day I'll get some comments. That'll be my manifestation.